Call the meeting to order at 7 o'clock. Pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call. Oh, actually, nope. There needs to be a motion for,
I'll make a motion to appoint Treasurer Rice to run our meeting tonight in the absence of our supervisor.
Support.
okay, motion and support for me to run this meeting. Any discussion? All right, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Clerk Cody, can you do roll call, please?
Supervisor Milky is excused. Clerk Cody here. Treasurer Rice.
Here?
Trustee Bills.
Here.
Trustee Brown.
Here.
Trustee Hauk.
Here.
Trustee Thering.
Here.
All right. Is there an approval of the agenda?
I'll make a motion to
Motion.
approve the agenda as presented.
Support.
All right. Motion Hauk, support Brown. Any discussion? All right. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Motion passes. And there's no presentations or public hearings, so I'm going to open public comment at 7:01. This is restricted to 3 minutes regarding items on this agenda.
I'd like to invite the public to come to our meetings.
I would too. Please
All right.
come.
And seeing absolutely nobody other than our staff and people here, we will close at 7:02. All right, and going to reports and board comments. The current list of boards and commissions, appointments is needed.
What are we ever gonna do on this thing? I mean, the planning commission or Miss Brienne Muggenberg, we've had her in here for 4 months and we haven't done any action on it. I mean,
I
Yeah,
agree with you, Bill.
I just wonder why it
But
keeps going in
I
our
don't-
packet and we keep delaying it.
I don't think Treasurer Rice is going to
Yeah,
answer
no,
that.
no, I just wonder
Yeah,
why
no.
we aren't making any action on it.
I am unsure. I know that there was discussion of reducing the number of seats, but that's all I know, and I haven't heard anything since. So, I can't answer that one for you.
All right, well, no big deal.
No, that's all right. July monthly activity report. Anybody see anything they need questions answered? All right, moving on. All right, Planning Commission, EDA, sidewalks, and ZBA updates by Community and Economic Development Director, Mr. Nanny. I'll turn it to you.
Well, thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here tonight. I have 3 meetings to report on. Our Economic Development Authority Board met on the 19th, had their regular meeting, and it was a busy meeting for them. They did take their action on the budget amendment that is part of what you have on your agenda tonight, and they did approve that budget amendment and forwarded it on to you for the East and the West EDA districts. They also took action to update our check register of the DDA. We have 2 bank accounts, one for the East EDA, one for the West EDA, and Jim Zalad, one of our EDA board members, has been listed as a check signer on that account because at one time he was the treasurer of the EDA board. That's a position that's no longer active. When they updated their bylaws, they eliminated that position, and so they took an action to kind of a paperwork action to remove him as a check signer. And then the big item on their agenda was they did take action to award contract to do the sidewalk project here on South Lincoln Road, the one that would start at the Lux Funeral Home and come north to the Township Hall parking lot. This is one that's been around for a number of years now. We're finally able to get a plan completed and approved through the County Road Commission. We were able to deal with the easement issues primarily with the help of the Lux Funeral Home, which granted us an easement that we needed to complete the south end of that piece. So that project was awarded to the Isabel Corporation, same company that's doing our sidewalk project on Remus Road right now. It's underway. So they are intending, the Isabel Corporation is intending to take on this additional piece of work for the sidewalks before this year is out. It will be part of the 2022 construction season.
What was the dollar amount on that?
That one was, I believe, $182,000 and change, if I recall. The EDA board also held, just yesterday, their first of 2 required informational meetings. Public Act 57 of 2018, which is what governs the work of our downtown development authority districts, requires the EDA board to hold 2 informational meetings a year. These are separate from regular meetings. Their sole purpose is to essentially provide information on what their activities have been for the previous year and what their plans are for the current year and going forward. The main audience for these informational meetings is our taxing jurisdictions, where we capture tax revenue both from the township itself, but also from Isabella County and now from Mid-Michigan College as well. And so each of these entities are invited to come to the meeting and ask any questions they have, get more information on what's going on, and certainly to take a look at the annual report of activities. All the reporting information is available on our website as well. We did have Nicole Frost in attendance from Isabella County. So that first meeting was held yesterday. There will be a second meeting held in August. And it'll be a duplicate of this first meeting. The other meeting I have to report on is our Planning Commission. They also met on the 19th. They also had a busy agenda. They had an item on their agenda that will be coming to you shortly, and that was a rezoning request from Mid-Michigan College. The college is working on a project to construct athletic fields on the south side of their campus, over just west of Somerton Road. And as part of that, they turned in plans for that. And as part of that review, we noted that there was a zoning problem, and that was that over a period of several years, they purchased 3 homes that were located in South Somerton, purchased the lots, demolished the homes, but they did not rezone the property. And so those lots were not zoned for this project, this athletics fields project. So they came back with this rezoning application. The Planning Commission they held a hearing on that application, deliberated on it, and ultimately made a recommendation for adoption of that zoning change that would basically allow the entire Mid-Michigan College campus to be one zoning classification and would allow this project to go forward for the athletic fields. So you should be seeing that shortly. It has been submitted to the county for their review, and as I said, it should be coming to you very soon. In addition to that, they had a couple of site plan items. We had a cell tower project on South Mission Road that received a final site plan approval. And then also a project to expand an engineering building, Michael Engineering, on Venture Way over on the east side. Just about doubling the size of that facility. This was a preliminary site plan application, and that also received approval. The last thing on the Plan Commission's agenda was Parks and Recreation plan, and as part of that, they were looking at some potential sites for additional parks and evaluating some options there. That is an ongoing project, and so we received some comments back from the Commission on that. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
What potential sites did they talk about for parks?
Well, there were 2 in particular on the south side that one is the site that Mr. Hawk, that you've been discussing. Another site is a property near our water plant that the owner of that property had expressed an interest in the past about potentially preserving that land in some form, and so it was identified. We also discussed the property on Jonathan Lane, the lot that we purchased in going to be putting a sidewalk through it, looking at that as a small neighborhood park. Those were the key ones. Another topic on the agenda was the Chippewa River watershed, and looking at, is there something that we might want to do or make it as a priority related to protecting that watershed.
Right, thank you.
Any other
Awesome.
questions?
When is the construction of the sidewalk here going to start, if you know?
So you're talking about the sidewalk here in front of the building?
Yes, sir.
That project has been given to our township engineer. They are waiting for our parking lot project, which is going to happen next week, as I understand.
Oh, okay.
As soon as the parking lot has been repaved, the intent is the engineers are going to be coming out doing their survey work they need to do to then do the design work for the sidewalk. So they're intending to move swiftly. I think when that project came before you, we talked about there was a hope that it might happen in 2022. That's really all we have at this point. It will all depend on how quickly plans can come together, approvals can come together, and ultimately get things out for bid.
They seem to be efficient, don't they?
Yeah.
Gordy Fraser?
Yep.
Yeah.
The Isabella Corp's doing great over here on High Street. I mean, I can't believe how far they've gotten. And they've gotten a lot done.
Yeah, that looks great. Awesome.
The corners up there, Rodney, what's happening where the sidewalk ends maybe from me to you from the corner? Why is that?
The project does include the intersection. They're going to be doing the ramps essentially at all four corners of the intersection. I think they are at this point saving that till they're done with the rest of it because it's a traffic control thing.
Right. To have less interruption, that makes sense, instead of doing individually each one, do them at the same time.
Any other questions? All right. Thank you, Mr. Nanny.
Thank you.
All right, and moving on to board member reports. Let's start over here with Trustee Hauk.
I went to 2 meetings since our last meeting. June 14th, or July 14th, I went to the County Road Commission meeting. They approved a couple more road projects. The main one they approved was, now that they finally got everything taken care of, bids in, was Mission Road. So that's gonna be nice. That thing, I think they said they're gonna get started on that sometime next month. That was broken up into like 3 sections, but they had to approve the contracts for each individual section. They also approved the contract for our section of Lincoln Road and Broomfield. It was 25% over the engineer's estimate, like close to $442,000. But they're working on funding for it, so things are proceeding down there. I don't know if anybody's been down there. They're moving underground stuff, and we have to get all that done before they can do surface work. They finally received their funding for roads damaged by the windmills. There's 137 of them in the project here. There's 180 of them in Isabella County. But the main project that they were receiving money from Apex, they received $4.2 million to fix roads, mainly in Isabella and Nottawa Township. The roads were cupping from the heavy use of heavy machinery, trucks, and everything else going down. They also talked about safety lighting over at Renaissance School. That's I see in our monthly progress report. Either that or in an email that Mark sent out to us, he had met with the principal over there. So that's all I have for the road commission. And then last Wednesday night, Trustee Bills and I attended the Council of Governments meeting at the Isabella County building, and Ian Welsh, the Director of Veterans Affairs, came and talked on all of the benefits that are available for veterans in the area. So, that's all I have.
I have a question, Bill. Mr.
No, you
Trustee
can
Howe.
talk about it too. Oh, go ahead. I'm what?
Hey, man, I'm talking to you.
No, okay. No, but I didn't know.
Can I ask you a question about your report?
About what report?
The
This
road
one?
commission?
Yeah,
I thought they had to spend $600,000 of that money by September 1st, or we would
They
lose
will.
it.
they'll have it spent by the
That's
end
4
of,
weeks.
by September 30th.
Oh, September 30th.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they're spending it now. That's
Not
part of,
600,000 though.
oh, I don't know.
Okay.
They'll,
I'm
they'll,
in.
they got it. They may have gotten an extension on that. I think they did.
I thought it was impossible to get.
Well, I think they got an
Oh, yeah.
extension.
They had to rush it through. Okay, gotcha.
So,
Thanks, I appreciate that. Appreciate that answer, sir.
Any other questions?
I-
Okay.
I
Clerk
don't have
Cody?
anything else.
None? Okay. Coming around to Mr. Therian here.
I have no comments today.
All right. Keep on going with bills.
I'd like to add to what Trustee Hug said about the chapter meeting for the MTA last week. And that Ian Welsh, now he said, if you know any veterans that are not receiving benefits, that have any kind of disability, they should really contact him. And I have his number is 989-317-4093. And he's Ian, and he's veterans at isabellacounty.org. He said that he can find benefits for people even if they thought they were not eligible. So even health care and other benefits. And also, there's a burial program for all veterans. I don't know if everybody knows that. I didn't know it.
Neither did I. Yeah, that was
And
pretty cool.
anybody that served during any war for at least 90 days, even if they didn't go to war, they get $300 and a monument. So it's a bronze monument. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that. So anyway, that's all I got on that. And then I did go to the Isabella County Board of Commissioners work session on July 19th at 4 o'clock. The Human Rights Committee is having a rally or some kind of a event on September 19th at Island Park. It's called Let Peace Reign. And then that's all I've got. But they had to approve $37,000 for a broken skid steer because some employee put
Wrong one.
something in the something else. So, for the material recovery facility. That was sad,
It happens.
yeah,
Insurance.
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Any questions for Trustee Bills?
Just one comment. Thank you for the veterans report
Yeah.
and putting that phone number out there.
Yeah,
Maybe we can say it again at the end of the meeting.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Whoever the county employee was that maybe put the wrong fluid in the wrong part of the machine. I know a guy that sold cars that put transmission fluid in the crankcase.
Yeah, well, you know what they say, there needs to be procedures, and there was no procedure for that, so now there's a procedure for that.
All right. And
I-
Trustee Brown?
No report.
All right. Moving right along. Nothing for me tonight, so let's go on to consent agenda.
I make a motion to approve consent agenda.
Motion
Support.
and support. All right, motion Bills, support Brown. All right, and warrants today was Trustee Brown, I believe, right?
Yep, good.
Okay. And anything else from anybody? All right. So, we'll move on to,
We have to approve.
Yep,
it.
vote, yep, I was saying, move on to a vote. Sorry, brain's gone. Okay. We have a motion and, consent to approve the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? All right. On to new business. So let's start with the fiscal year 2022 budget amendment number 1. And standing in for Mark tonight is Miss Teal. Did you want to lead us in this?
Yep, I'll go over this budget amendment, as brief, I'll make it as brief as I can. What we're requesting tonight is that the board approve, budget amendment number 1 for fiscal year 2022. For the general fund, fire fund, East DDA fund, West DDA fund, tribal 2% fund, the sewer fund, and the water fund. And as Rodney mentioned in his report, the EDA board has already recommended approval of the budget amendment for the East DDA and West DDA at their meeting on July 19th. So just looking at the general fund here, the total net revenues from all adjustments is an increase of $648,154 for the general fund. The majority of that comes from contributions from the tribe and the EDA for the Lincoln Road Broomfield project. The contribution from the tribe is $179,504 that the township received in the spring 2022 request from the tribe. And then also we're amending the budget for a contribution from the West DDA to the general fund for $330,000. That's for the Lincoln Road Broomfield project. And then also an additional amount that the EDA approved for that same project for $120,600. That's the majority of the, there's a few other smaller items, but that's the majority of the budget amendment for the general fund revenue. And then moving on to general fund expenditures, we have a budget amendment proposed here, total net expenditures from all adjustments would be an increase of $739,230. And again, the majority of this is for the Public Works Department, a net increase of $639,000 there for road work. And then there's also an increase there for capital outlay for $102,000. This is to finish up the Jameson Hall project, the portion that was not completed in 2021. So for the general fund, the resulting net impact of the budget amendment number 1 is to decrease the projected year-end fund balance by $91,076 in the general fund compared to the existing budget, 2022 budget. In the fire fund, we don't have much to amend there. We're amending net revenue from for an increase of $5,200 in the fire fund. So there, the resulting impact of budget amendment number 1 for the fire fund is to increase the projected year-end fund balance by $5,200 compared to the existing original budget. In the East DDA fund, there's adjustment of the total net revenue adjustment is an increase of $52,900. The total net expenditure adjustment for the budget is $48,975. So for the East DDA fund, the resulting net impact of the budget amendment number 1 is to increase projected year-end fund balance by $3,925 compared to the existing budget. In the West DDA fund, in the revenue area, there's an increase of $38,000 for current property tax revenue. And then in the expenditure area, In the expenditure area for the West DDA, we're adjusting 385,575 in the West DDA. And that, again, the majority of that is related to that road project on Lincoln Road south of the bridge, and also additional money needed for sidewalk and pathway projects of $264,000. So for the West DDA fund, the resulting net impact of the budget amendment number 1 is to decrease projected year-end fund balance by $347,575 compared to the existing original budget. In the tribal 2% fund, we're accounting for, in the budget, we're accounting for the tribes' contribution, this spring 2% that the township was awarded. So we're increasing revenue, increasing expenditures there for the $254,875. And the resulting net impact of the budget on the projected year-end fund balance is actually 0 compared to the existing budget. In the sewer fund, revenue, total net revenue from all adjustments is an increase of about $75,000. And that's related to the tribal 2% that we received in the spring also. In the expenses area for the sewer fund, the total net expenses budgeted are increasing by $316,500. The majority of that is for capital projects capital projects that are being adjusted. There's some being adjusted up. Pump station number 1. There's some being adjusted down because the work's delayed until 2023. And you'll see the detail there in your packet. So for the sewer fund, the resulting impact of budget amendment number 1 is to decrease the projected year-end fund balance by $241,129 compared to the existing budget. In the water fund, there's no budget adjustments for revenue, but in the expenses area, we're increasing the budget $194,500 for the water fund. The majority of that is for capital projects in the water system area. There was a contract for the installation of high service pumps at River Road. That came in $129,000 higher than expected. So for the water fund, the resulting net impact of budget amendment number 1 is to decrease projected year-end fund balance by $194,500 compared to the existing original budget. And I'd be happy to try to answer any questions you might have on that.
I have a quick question. On the West DDA fund for expenditures, there was $145,000 projected for a sidewalk out here, and Rodney just said it was going to be $182,000. Is that?
Well,
Will that just get?
we did already have $70,000 in the budget for that project.
Okay.
And the adjustment here for the $145,000, that's for engineering and construction.
Okay.
And I think Rodney's number was just on the construction that you
That is
gave,
correct.
right?
Yeah, the
Okay.
182 is just for the construction portion.
Yeah, so the other part of that, if you add 70,000 to that, is for engineering.
Yeah.
Any other questions or motions?
I'll make a motion to approve the fiscal year 2022 budget amendment number 1 for the general fund, fire fund, East DDA fund, West DDA fund, tribal 2% fund, sewer fund, and water fund.
Support.
Right, motion and support for the budget, and any further discussion?
I'm excited about all these projects.
All right, we were going to do this one roll call. If there's not any further discussion, I'll have Clerk Cody do roll call, please.
Clerk Cody, yes. Treasurer Rice.
Yes.
Trustee Bills.
Yes.
Trustee Brown.
Yes.
Trustee Hauk.
Yes.
Trustee Thering.
Yes.
All yeses.
Thank you. And moving on. Sorry, gotta get back to my list here. All right, so moving on, let's look at Policy Governance 2.0, Global Executive Constraint. And did you want to lead us into this one?
I can introduce this one. This is a policy review of the policy governance document. This is for the 2.0 Global Executive Constraint. This is reviewed every July, annually every July. And the wording is, the township manager shall not cause or allow any practice, activity, decision, or organizational circumstance which is either unlawful, imprudent, or in violation of commonly accepted public administrative practice and professional ethics. And the township manager interprets this policy to indicate that all applicable ordinances, statutes, and laws will be adhered to by all staff, and that there shall be no deviation from accepted administrative practices or professional ethics. The township manager has also listed 11 items here, which back up the, which support the fact that this policy governance section is being followed by the organization. There's a couple, I'll just give a couple examples here. The township manager and the directors follow a code of ethics that are in their respective organizations that they belong to. The finance directors in the MGFOA, the Community and Economic Development Director is part of the, AICPA Code of Ethics. He follows that code. The Township Manager is part of the ICMA Association. He follows that Code of Ethics. And the Public Services Director is part of the AWWA and the MWEA, and she follows that code of conduct too, and those codes are attached here. And those are just some examples of, just an example of what we follow here at the township.
All right, thank you. All right, so everybody get a chance to look those over and fill out your forms. All right. Do you guys want me to read them question for question, or just say, did anybody find any problems
No.
that they found with this?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No.
Everything was timely, good to go, right? All right. Any further comments at the bottom?
I think that, I've been here 2 years. I haven't seen anything that's out of order in this township, so, my opinion.
Anyone else? All right, moving right along then. So let's go on to the Policy Governance 2.5, Financial Condition and Activities. Ms. Teal, would you like to lead us in again?
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, so this is the Policy Governance 2.5 Financial Condition and Activities Analysis. This review is done quarterly. This review is for the second quarter, so it's for April, May, and June. The policy wording The policy wording is quite lengthy. There's 10 different items here that the township follows, that are set by the board. And the manager's interpretation is that this policy is to indicate that there will be no expenditures made or incurred that will exceed the expenditures budgeted for that current year unless it is an emergency purchase as outlined in 2.5.6. The manager shall also not make a single purchase or commitment of a greater than $10,000 or inform the board of purchases over $5,000 unless the purchase is for materials or services needed for normal operations of township facilities. Furthermore, all tax payments to other government entities are paid according to state statute. Payroll is paid bi-weekly, and accounts payable invoices are processed and ready for board approval as soon as they are received, verified, and coded for payment. And so we've also listed some data here to back up the examples of how we follow this policy. And I'll list a few of these. All of our expenditures support global ends policies. No new debts were acquired in the second quarter of 2022. No long-term general fund reserves have been used for several years. All payroll and payroll taxes and benefits were paid on time and on schedule. The annual audit, F-65, qualifying statements and bond disclosures were filed on time to the appropriate authorities. All purchases greater than $10,000 were approved by the Board of Trustees prior to making a purchase. In quarter two, there was an exception to that. The manager approved a couple of things that he felt were emergencies. One was to emergency repair to well number 8 on Mission Road on April 4th. That was a little over $19,000. He also approved carpeting to be ordered for the Township Hall as part of the remodeling project that was being done. He made that call just hoping to get the carpeting in place in 2022 just because of delays and things and getting things done. And that's because the carpet is actually in the 2022 budget, and he'd like to get that done this year. And also, no real property was acquired or disposed of without approval from the board, and all receivables are pursued on a regular basis. And all funds are very healthy. They have a reasonable amount of cash flow, and it makes it easy to pay the bills and payroll on time. So that pretty much sums that one up.
All right, and does anybody have any questions for? Okay. Looking at your evaluation form, did you guys find everything in order and timely and good to go?
Absolutely.
I have no issues.
Well-detailed report.
Okay, and anything you'd like to review further, whether it be with the policy or any of the information?
No.
No? All right, moving right along tonight then. Let's move on to the Board of Trustees Annual Review, Policy Governance 4.4. Ms. Teal.
Okay, Policy Governance 4.4.
And I know this is one that we normally,
Well-
well, do we want to go through and mention that? I also know that at the bottom of page 109, it says related to the review of policy 4.4 at the August 24th board meeting. The review of the policy 4.4 will be at the August 24th board meeting. Governance policy 4.5 will be on the agenda as well. So
Right.
I don't know if you want to
And-
just give a brief.
I mean, and
synopsis, or-
if you look at the schedule on page 113, it does say that 4.4 is looked at annually in July
Yeah.
for monitoring township manager and management team for performance. So this is another board governance policy for monitoring township manager performance. It's looked at every year in July. And I'll just go over this. At the highest level, the policy states systematic and rigorous monitoring of township manager job performance will be solely against the only expected township manager job outputs, organizational accomplishment of board policies on ends, and organizational operation within the boundaries established in the board policies on executive limitations. And it's quite lengthy, and due to the length, the entire policy is attached. I will not go over the full policy here. It's just just an overview of it. Something that the board can discuss tonight.
All right. And do we have any comments? Yes, Clerk Cody.
So it says, like, on this schedule, monitoring the township manager and management team, but it doesn't really say anything about the team in this evaluation, does it? I mean, it's saying township management, but it doesn't say team, so maybe we should just take the team performance out of there in our schedule, or?
Well, can I just say something there? I think Sherry Teal and also Kimberly are the backup managers. So I mean, that's probably isn't that what that's talking about?
Not me.
No.
No, management team.
No, not
and
you.
Yep.
Tim
Yep.
Smith.
Yes.
But
Um,
the management team is
management
the
team.
clerk, the supervisor,
yes.
and the treasurer.
I think everything begins and ends with the manager, so therefore.
But it's just confusing the way it's written.
Depending on the document you look at, you you have the management and management team, and you know they kind of, the management team is usually the supervisor, the treasurer, and the clerk, and then of course the manager, so when they talk about management team, that's usually who they're discussing. I think, didn't we do a change in the policy governance or
We
something?
did a change, but we didn't change the schedule.
Right.
I think we took out the team in the management, but I can't
I-
remember. I'll email Mark and ask
Yeah.
him about it, just
I would double
To
check with
clarify.
that.
so, it's just a question I had.
Yep. It's a good question. All right. So let's see. For tonight, the purpose of tonight's meeting, because we're gonna go through some of that in the future, in that the evaluation form on 112. Did everybody get to that?
I personally would prefer to wait for everybody to be here. I mean, I think
Okay.
it's important for everybody to be here to have real discussion about this, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with James.
Okay.
It is, Bill and Lisa, how do you feel?
Yep.
But she's still just asking about before, this is for turning in to August 24th. He asked that we submit it before August 24th, before that meeting, so he can kind of review them, and if we have any questions or concerns, he can address them, is what this evaluation is for.
Awesome.
Are we not gonna go over it like?
But
we did
this
last
one,
time?
we should go through just to
Those
show
are
that it
just
was
the-
submitted when due or whatever,
I see.
because there's two separate ones in there.
Yep. Yeah, that's the one I'm looking at. It's on page
Okay.
112 of the packet.
Sure.
Are you guys okay doing that one, or
Perfect.
were
Yeah.
you still
No,
wanting
for
to?
sure.
Okay. All right. Does everybody feel that the board is in strict compliance with the policy as stated?
Yes.
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 Okay. And if well, everybody says it's, yep, in compliance. Could the board improve our process at all? Do you think? Is there anything we can do to improve anything? Or to things we need to discuss so that we could improve in general?
I'm not sure how that really applies to what we're dealing with tonight, but, I think that the manager has addressed our ends, so I think that's what we do, and I don't think that needs to be improved. I liked how we did it last time, so,
At this time, I think it's
yeah.
good.
Okay. Any other comments? All right. Then I guess we will move on to extended public comment if there's no further. Right, so this is restricted to 5 minutes regarding any issue, and I will open at 7:46. And seeing nobody, I will close at 7:46. Manager comments, so we're gonna look to Miss Steele over here and see if she has anything for us.
I don't have any additional comments.
All right, moving along. Final board comments, anybody? Well, I guess I'll start over here. Trustee Brown.
Well, one, Mr. Naney mentioned Lux Funeral Home on the easement for the sidewalks. I'd just like to thank them publicly also. That's great that they did that so we could get that sidewalk
Agreed.
through here.
Yes.
I really appreciate that. And Connie mentioned the veterans. I appreciate that too. That's awesome. That's my one comment.
And did we want to
Yeah.
say that number again?
I will. His name's Ian Welch, and his number's 989-317-4093. His email is veterans@isabellacounty.org. I would just like to mention that at large, I've heard some seriously positive comments about our manager, about how he's at all the meetings, how he is taking a lead role, and it's really impressive what I hear. So just want to say, I'm not going to name names, I'm just going to tell you that directors of other places have told me that. So
Great.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Connie.
Right. Any,
No comment?
I have nothing.
nothing for you?
Thank you.
Yeah. And none for Bill?
Nope.
Or sorry, Trustee Hauk. Sorry. Clerk Cody, anything for you? Election stuff? How? We doing good?
Election's coming up Tuesday, so if you haven't voted already,
Okay. All right. And other than that, yeah, it's tax time. You already got your taxes, and if you haven't, contact us, and we'll make sure that everything's correct and get you your tax bill.
all right.
Woohoo! All right. And anybody want to make a motion to adjourn?
motion to adjourn.
All right,
Support.
Clerk Cody, motion, support. Was that you?
That was
Trustee
me.
Bill? Okay. All right. So motion and support. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Great. Closed at 7:48.
Thank you.